Hey YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to Chironis Things. Today we're going to be reviewing this flashlight from Folomov. I've reviewed a flashlight from them before. It's kind of like a Kickstarter brand, and then they just recently sent me this one to check out. Seems like it's a pretty high lumen, kind of like search flashlight. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's look at some size comparisons here. First off, we have the Sofern SP35T. Now, both of these flashlights I'm going to show in comparison are going to be 21700 battery. The Folomov's battery is quite a bit bigger, as you'll see here in a moment. So you'll see it's not much longer than the SP35T. However, on the tail and on the head, it is significantly larger than the Sofern. Now let's look at the Workhos. This is the TD01. All right, you'll see that the Workhos is a bit longer there. The head is significantly larger. However, on the tail, the Folomov is a little bit bigger. So that's what we're looking at size-wise on this Folomov flashlight. Next up, let's look at the battery and charging. We do have a USB-C port on the back here. Opens up like that, and you'll see we have USB-A and USB-C connection ports there. You can access the battery through the tail or the head. When we unscrew this, it comes with extremely well lubed threads there, and then this is actually running a 26650 battery. I think this is my first flashlight with a battery this large, 5000 milliamps at 3.7 volts. So pretty big battery we're working with there. It's got a good spring on the back. All right, now let's look at the design of this flashlight. So we just kind of got like a little dip in here on the tail, no magnet. We do have a lanyard holes here, so I went ahead and put a lanyard on there. No grip whatsoever on the tube of this flashlight, just completely flat aluminum. And then up here we have a rubber button. It does protrude quite a bit. It's actually got a pretty good click to it. So nice button there. Not a whole lot going on other than that. No fins for heat dissipation. Just not a lot design-wise. This isn't exactly meant to be a good looking flashlight. As we get to the top here, though, we do kind of have this two-tone bezel going on. And it's actually a pretty nice bezel it's got on there. And then you'll see as we look into the top of the flashlight, a lot going on there inside. And next up, let's take a quick look at the user interface. So the user interface is somewhere where I feel that this flashlight is lacking a bit. So although it has decent performance, not a great user interface. It's going to be click on, hold off. You can hold for momentary, okay? But otherwise, it's click on, hold off. So once you have it on, you need to continue to click to cycle through your brightness levels. You can double click to now switch from your floodlight to your spotlight. And then you can double click to switch through strobes on that spotlight. And then otherwise, when we get back into our floodlight, it's just click to cycle through again. Hold to get off. Okay. And that is basically the user interface. You're able to switch with double clicks between the spotlight and the floodlight, and you're able to click to cycle through those modes. Let's actually go ahead and get back in that spotlight. So if we click, you'll see that's how we get into the floodlight. When we do turn the flashlight on, we do get a battery indicator here, accessed by that little green ring on the button. Next up, let's go ahead and take this outside and see what it can do with some beam shots. Final thoughts on this flashlight. It is pretty cool to have in the collection. Like I said, first one with the 26650 battery. So that's pretty nice just to have something with a ton of battery life on it. A lot of output we get here out of both the spotlight and the floodlight, as you saw in the beam shots. Outside of performance, there's not a whole lot going on for this flashlight. And I will say that super orange spotlight on there, in my opinion, is a bit ugly. However, I think the floodlight looks just fine for the most part. But if you're just looking for something with a lot of performance and big battery life, I think this is something to check out. And so far, this company, Folomov, which I wasn't familiar with them before, seems like a nice guy that's running it. We've emailed back and forth a few times. So if you want to check out their Kickstarter, I'll put a link in my description so you can check out this flashlight. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great week.